Okay, sorry for the delay. We just had a little bit. We were just waiting for our photographer and so forth. So, and I'll take some of the blame. I was a little bit too. So, all right, let's stand for our pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, and our meeting is open at 7:13. Okay. Before we open it up for privilege of the floor, I'd like to have Mr. Kyle. He's asked if he could speak to the board for just a few minutes, and so I'd like to give him the floor at this time. Awesome. Thank you.
Good evening. Apologies, Capital District Construction and Traffic. My name is Scott Kyle. I'm the commander for Military Order of the Purple Heart, Chapter 446, which covers everywhere from Fort Drum to Newburgh to Utica, all the way to the Mass-Vermont border. What we are is a organization, a veterans organization of Purple Heart recipients. I'm here today to ask the board and the community to honor Princetown to become a Purple Heart community, to become a Purple Heart town, to be exact. But before I go further, I'd like to kind of introduce myself a little bit about why I'm here. So, as I said, my name is Scott Kyle. I am a husband. First of all, I'm a soldier. Currently serving. February 12, 2017 will be 20 years of service for me. I joined in 1997, just after I graduated high school. I am also a spouse of a service member. My wife is an aviator with the New York Army National Guard. She works full-time as well as I do for that organization. I'm a warfighter. I served as an infantryman on the ground in ground combat while I got this decoration. I also worked in the operations section, and currently I work for the logistics section for the state, transporting, feeding, and supplying over 10,500 soldiers every day, every weekend, to include the operation just happened down in Louisiana. With that said, on October 10th, 2008, in Logar province, Afghanistan, is where I earned, unfortunately, my Purple Heart decoration. And what my involvement is without my generation. As you can see, I'm a little nervous. I can brief a two-star general, but I have a hard time talking to you guys because I don't like to talk about myself. I feel like I'm bragging. And this is not something I like to brag about, but unless my generation gets involved, these organizations such as MOPH, the VFW, the American Legion's going to go away. And we can't allow that because those organizations and our predecessors are the ones that got us to GI Bill, are the ones that got us the benefits that we have today. And I think I owe it to those men and women to carry on the banner. So as I said, the MOPH is a organization of Purple Heart recipients. It is the only organization that is chartered by Congress, is also only for combat veterans. The VFW, a lot of people think, is for combat veterans. Well, it is, but as long as you served overseas during a time of hostility, you can join the VFW. You didn't actually have to be involved in ground combat. The MOPH you do. The Military Purple Heart was formed in 1932. And since then, we have strived to do right by combat vets, and not just combat vets, but all veterans and their families. So the mission of Purple Heart is to foster an environment of goodwill, camaraderie among combat wounded veterans, promote patriotism, support necessary legislation initiatives, and more importantly, provide a service to all veterans. So here today about Princetown asking to become a Purple Heart community. In the early 90s, an idea formed that was called the Purple Heart Trail. And it was initially an initiative to look for sections of roadway, highways that we see, Trooper Joe Smith Memorial Highway, Sergeant Scott Kyle Memorial Highway, And it started like that, to try to get some sections of road named after combat veterans. Veterans who spilled blood for their country, who left body parts in foreign lands, just to give a little bit back and say, hey, we recognize their sacrifice. Since then, it kind of spawned a life of its own, where communities, counties, and now states, and even now businesses, schools, other organizations are starting to take on this banner saying that they're a Purple Heart community, town, village, so on and so forth. So they were being asked to recognize the sacrifice of combat veterans, which, hey, that's pretty cool. But we at Chapter 446 are taking a different approach to it. We're saying that there's a lot of communities out there that are going above and beyond on their own. Veterans organizations aren't even asking them to do anything. And so we want to, at Chapter 446, we want to honor the community. We don't want to just honor the veteran, but we want to honor the community. Communities that are supporting legislative initiatives. Communities that are creating goodwill among veterans. And I had the honor coming here the other week where we unveiled a Purple Heart parking spot. It seems pretty small, and many people may think it's insignificant, but it's part of a bigger picture. It's part of a bigger picture. And as we move forward, and a lot of us in the veteran community are sitting there going, wow, all these places are doing things. But I have to take a step back and look at it as a citizen going, you know, if you filter all that out and I take away all the emails that I get every day from people, I don't really hear much about what's going on for vets. And it's not about me. It's not about us 30-year-olds. It's about the older guys, and it's about the newer guys. What's not really in it for them, but what are they going to get after 20 years of service for carrying an 85-pound rucksack for 18 months through the mountains of Afghanistan like I had to? What's going to be for that mechanic that was turning wrenches for 48 hours to try to get a helicopter back in the air to support troops on the ground? And that's what we're looking at. And it's not a monetary thing. Sometimes it's just a thank you. Sometimes it's just a, hey, we support our vets, come live with us. And that's what this Purple Heart community is all about. So one of the big questions I've been asked is, what's the cost? What's the cost of the community? What's the cost to the town, the village that's taking this on? Really, the cost can be nothing. However, most communities are absorbing the cost for signage. Most of the communities that we've talked to and counties that we've talked to, they've been putting up Purple Heart signs saying we're a Purple Heart village, we're a Purple Heart town, we're a Purple Heart county. There are signs that Oneida County put up. I live in the village of Urbana, and they put up at all the major roadways coming into town saying that we're a Purple Heart village. And their signs are about the size of this table. I've seen small ones that are probably 12 by 12 that say, welcome to our Purple Heart community. Montgomery County, I just spoke to, and they voted. They're actually making this part of their rebranding campaign, saying we're Purple Heart County, Montgomery County and Purple Heart County, we're made of something stronger. Those are just examples of what's going on. The cost of it, I'm not sure. I've tried to mill it out of these towns and villages, and they won't tell me. Some do signage in-house through the highway department, so they may be able to offset the cost somehow with that. So in New York State, just to show you what's going on, New York State doesn't have a lot of these communities. However, Rockland County and every town within Rockland County, they support their Purple Heart, or I shouldn't say Purple Heart recipients, their veterans greatly. To include the county, all their things. Orange County is a Purple Heart county. Westchester County, New York City is actually a Purple Heart city now, all 5 boroughs. Last night, or yesterday, or I should say on Sunday, was Purple Heart Day. It was the anniversary of George Washington awarding the first Purple Heart, which was the military badge of merit. The Empire State Building was lit up purple and white for that event. In the Capital District, there were none until I kind of went on this campaign. Currently, like as I said, where I live, the village of Ravenna, they do kind of what Water Bleak does, and they have a silk screening of all their vets up on the light poles going through town. When I moved to the Capital District, I didn't know anywhere around here to live, and when I went to see my home, which is now my home down here, every street is dedicated to a veteran that lived in that community from World War I on. So that kind of attracted me to that area. Montgomery County I already spoke about, and Delaware County also just voted and passed to become a Purple Heart County, and that reveal will be on August 24th. They'll be down there for that. One other thing I'd like to note is we all know the Tappan Zee Bridge is being rebuilt, and I live by the Port of Queens, and I get to see all the new parts coming in every day off the ships. There's an initiative right now to make that the New York State Purple Heart Bridge, the whole entire span. To make the whole entire span a Purple Heart Bridge rather than just a section of it. So it's kind of neat, this initiative that's going on, and it's really not about us. We're kind of a face to it because most seem to say that we've suffered the most during war, which is not necessarily true. However, I'd rather be a face of something to get initiatives passed and to recognize different things for veterans that may be worse off than I am. So I have no problem doing that. Are there any questions, comments, or concerns at this time? No?
What a nice way to start.
Thank you, ma'am. My contact information, I'll just throw it out there if anyone has any questions, is scott.kyle, K-Y-L-E, at purpleheartalbany, all one word, .org. And phone number is 585, I'm from Rochester, go Wagons, 208-6401. And like I said, is I really think this town deserves this recognition. One of the cool things about this is we push up the proclamation, if it's done, all the way to Congress, because we are chartered by Congress. So we have to report to them. And we push the proclamation all the way up, and I think this is a great feather in the cap of the town because of what I hear from the supervisor, from Assemblyman Santa Barbara, that you guys do, that the community does for our veterans. And everybody's heard me pop them up, so that's awesome. I think it is great because it's another way to put something on the resume of the town that you do for future things that you may do for vets, you may do for a community. It's a nice resume builder, as we like to say. So with no further comments, I do have something, if I can move forward, for not my keys, for allowing me to come speak today. It's a Purple Heart supporter pin that I like to give out. You don't know how to get in here? It's all right. You'll get one last, Supervisor. Wait, should you even get one of these? You have a big one, right?
Oh, yeah.
You get a big one.
Yeah.
And you're parked in my parking spot, so.
I got here before you.
Yeah, that's true. But I'd like to thank you for allowing me to come speak today. And I would, yes,
I do
sir.
have a question. Do you have a website for that can receive donations by chance, or how do you receive donations if the general public wants to receive the?
We do. Our chapter does. We do take donations. I can give you a mailing address. When I took this over, our chapter was defunct for about 5 years. At 37 years old, I am the youngest member of my chapter. The next youngest guy to me is 68. So a lot of them in my efforts, I on the side, I do run a web development kind of thing on my own because it's just fun. They're resisting my change when it comes to online stuff. So slowly I'm making those kind of changes, but I'll forward you an address.
Yeah.
And for now, and as we move forward, we'll do things like that. But we do have a site, which is purpleheartalbany.org, if you want to look at kind of what we do and what's out there. Yes, sir.
What would be our next step as a town to?
So the next step as a town, if tonight or whenever you guys get together to do your voting, would be to vote on whether or not you'd like to be a Purple Heart town. Once that's complete, it would be a proclamation stating that you're a Purple Heart town. After that, I would have to receive an original copy that I can push forward. So original signed copy we can push forward. Once that's complete, however you guys want to proceed later, if you want to do the signage, most towns like to do a little ceremony for the signage, revealing at least one, out here. And then I've seen it where towns didn't do signage; they just like to keep everything nice and pristine and don't mess up their decor, I guess. But after that, what I like to do for the town, what our chapter does, is we have a nice plaque made to the citizens of the community saying thank you for doing this, that we can, if you want, hang in town hall or wherever you keep your memory type stuff.
Sir? You said that you dedicate roads in the community?
Yeah, in Ravenna, that was...
You don't change?
No, they don't change the big sign because, and I actually talked to the mayor about that, is he said it was a multi-year process if they wanted to change the signs because you're dealing with the post office and the DOT and everybody else. What they do is they have a blue sign, almost like the normal street blue signs, that have the service member's name and what war they fought in on underneath what would be like I live on South Clement Ave, and underneath it says Joe Morella, World War II on the sign. So they kind of dedicate, and it's all over town. They've been doing it.
So if we wanted to change our road out here and it comes into Princetown Plaza, we could just do that and put a dedicated to.
I would have to refer to the highway superintendent for that.
Well, that's certainly something we can take a look at and discuss as a board. And I would think that they would be somewhat interested in taking more look at it, but we'll, I'm sure, be discussing it some more.
All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
And thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Okay, before we go on with privilege of the floor, we have Mr. Ingalls here that would like to just present the board with.
Actually,
Okay.
we're going to come together.
We'll come together. Thank you for hearing us today. My name is Michael Varnas. I'm an attorney out of Albany, New York, and it's a pleasure to speak with you today. I'd like to begin, however, by thanking Mr. Kyle for his service. You just want to ready? And for the great work he's doing with MOPH. It's terrific. We're here because of the zoning legislation that is on your agenda for today regarding solar projects. And we're working with a couple of companies who hope to be the first people to take advantage of that legislation after it's finally passed. I represent a company called General Energy Solutions based in California. It's a developer of solar projects throughout the country, with about 37 megawatts of projects under construction or operative right now. They in turn are owned by a Taiwanese company that's one of the largest manufacturers of solar cells in the world. And between that group of companies, they've developed projects not just here in the United States, but in Central Africa, in China, in Japan, in Taiwan, and in Great Britain. So it's a global enterprise, and we have been so far in touch with a couple of landowners right here in Princetown regarding some land that looks perfect for some solar development. And we're also in the process of talking to an off-taker, in other words, a local business that would be buying the power generated at these sites, although those discussions are still in a preliminary stage, and we can't quite identify who that is yet. Now, Mr. Engels here is a professional engineer, and he's been working with a company called Synergy, which is an EPC, engineering, procurement, construction contractor, that would actually be building the project on behalf of my client, the developer. So if you'd like to explain a little bit about the project.
Good evening, Dave Ingalls, Ingalls & Associates. We're representing C Energy. We were in front of the planning board back in May, just as an introduction of the project to the board. And then it was concluded at that time that the town really doesn't have the necessary zoning in place to review any type of solar proposals or solar projects. So it was decided that we would work with this board and the ZRC to hopefully develop some new zoning regulations, whereas then we could go back to the planning board for a site plan or a special use review under that new zoning. But just quickly, this is what we're calling the Moyer parcel. It's approximately 132 acres. Right here, north being up on the plan. This is Marival Road. Not too far down here is South Kelly. It's just on our map. So this is the entrance in here. There's an existing pond on the parcel, and the area in red is approximately 30 acres that would be proposed for the actual photovoltaic or the solar farm. They're looking at generating approximately 2 megawatts of power through the solar farm. Existing zoning is the GR4, so again, we would have to match that to the new zoning regulations that would be adopted. We show a very brief concept of what the layout might be. It's a little bit hard to read, but it shows the actual rows or groupings of the cells. These are the actual photovoltaic cells that are approximately 6 feet wide, and they're in rows of 250 feet long. That's what we're showing here. And then obviously we would have some type of access driveway into the site. Not a lot of actual disturbance for the cells once they're in place, and not a lot of maintenance. So again, we're looking forward to beginning the process once the new solar zoning is in place.
Okay.
So I guess we just wanted to introduce ourselves tonight, introduce the project. Any questions? Glad to answer them. We look forward to moving forward.
Okay, I don't have any questions unless the board has any right now. I'm sure we will down the line, but...
Actually, so you're going to have solar arrays within the red line, is that it?
The area, correct. Yeah.
Are they permanent fixtures to the land, or are they considered chattel or fixtures, or?
These are pole-mounted racks, so they're permanent,
They are affixed to the land.
Okay.
but they could be removed.
They're on a footing.
Yeah, they'll be on a pole mount.
The important point to note that there's no complete ground cover underneath. There's still full drainage.
Actually, DEC considers them to be pervious, even though the panels themselves are impervious. As Mike mentions, the ground underneath remains intact.
How will
For
it impact
infiltration.
traffic up this way?
Pardon?
And how will it impact traffic up in that area?
Well, we're quite a ways off the road. The scale of this map is 200 feet, so we're 500 feet off the road to start here, dropping down in elevation a little bit from the road too, so pretty much the entire site has a screening in all directions, so you really won't, I don't think you're gonna see much, if anything, from the road.
Are you going to own the land in fee, or is it a lease arrangement with the property owner?
I believe that they are buying the property in fee. They will own the property.
I got a thing in mail, they want mine.
That may be a different project.
Lease our project.
I know that
Right.
there's some other developers who have been soliciting residents to use their land. I'm not sure the GES has done that in this case, so it might be a different developer.
In other words, you're buying this, they wanted to lease it for 20 years.
That's another model that developers frequently use, that's correct.
$1,500 an acre. And then you gotta give them the rates to go if they wanna do it after 20 years, too.
Leasing land is a very common model for solar farms in the United States. So but what you described is not unusual.
Yeah, typically they've been sending letters out to like larger parcels, I think. There's what criteria, it's gotta be like either maybe 50 or 100 acres.
Mine was 48.
48, okay, so probably 50 then.
They want a minimum of 20.
Okay, I'm sorry, the parent corporation was Synergy?
Synergy, it's spelled with a C and then energy.
Synergy is the EPC contractor for this project.
Right.
They would be under contract to GES, General Energy Solutions, Inc., which is a California company. And ultimately, that California company, as I say, is owned by Taiwanese company.
His company.
I'm sorry?
She was just asking a Taiwanese company.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
That's what I was
She
wondering.
didn't catch what you said.
oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
What's the
Okay.
life expectancy of them?
That's a good question. I would say that it's easily a 20-plus year, 20.
I believe the design life of the modules is 20 years, and that can easily be exceeded. And of course, once the racking system is in place, replacing the modules would be a simple matter. So the facility as a working solar farm could go on much longer than that.
Would they hook to that big transmission line that's right there?
I'm not, is that the plan? I'm not sure.
I think so. That would be their connection to the grid.
I do know that the plan is to sell, to transmit the energy to the off-taker through the Niagara Mohawk grid, well, now known as National Grid. So that's the nearest interconnect point that would be likely.
And they have to get to a 3-phase, I'm pretty sure, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be where they would connect right on Kelly.
Any other questions? Okay, well, we thank you for your presentation.
Great,
and,
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to us.
No problem. And have a good evening, and thanks for coming. Okay, we'll move on with the rest of our meeting here. We'll open the privileges of the floor at 7:40, I'm sorry. Mr. Giovanni.
Yeah, Tim Vivaldi, Vernon Drive. We just got 50 of these signs, so if, we've been passing them out to anybody that has a high visibility location. If you have one and you want a sign and you want to put it up on a high visibility location, let me know, I've got them with me. Otherwise, we're putting them, we're gonna put all 50 signs out around Princetown, some in Rotterdam and some on the outskirts, but these, in addition to the signs that Doug and his son donated, which are fantastic. I think everybody probably saw them coming in. Did a great job on those. So this project is going great, and it's. I'm glad that we had another veterans organization here tonight. So I think that fits in, by the way, beautifully with the town of Princetown. And I know that. And actually, I wanted to talk to him a little bit because we all know we're a little small town. We do everything on a shoestring. We don't really have a lot of money sloshing around, but we do have a Purple Heart veteran sitting right up there on our board. And I think that if any town is going to support something like that, it'll be ours. And it would be, we'd all be proud to do it.
Yes.
And, you know, if the town doesn't have the money, the people that live here will find it. So I'm glad you came, and if you want one of these, let me know before I leave tonight.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, and if anybody wants to volunteer for the project, there's a lot of volunteer slots open. So there's probably another, at least, you know, probably 40, 50 slots open at least. And the volunteers don't have to do anything physical, you know, could be lifting anything, you know, all you're gonna be doing is assisting people that come to find the name of their loved one on the wall. These are not chronological. The names are, actually they are chronological, they're not alphabetical, which makes them difficult to find. So we have books and registers in the tent. You'll simply get the logistics and walk the person over to find their name. So that's the kind of volunteers we need right at the moment. So if anybody has any interest in volunteering, you simply go to princetown.net, which is our website for the town, and go to the link for volunteers, and you'll come to a piece of software where you can plug in whatever time you want to volunteer. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Bowles. Anyone else? All right, if not, we'll close it.
Bob Mark, I'd just like to add to the zoning on the solar. I'd like a copy of Dwightsburg's zoning that they have. I'm willing to give you a copy of it, on what they have for the solar. And generally, like Doug, I'm not sure, I believe that Pangford Road does have 3-phase power available, and that's what they want to hook to. they're kind of skeptical of the big lines. It's a little federal operated with a 115 lines or the 358s.
Three phase comes as far as Briar Creek.
As far as Briar Creek, well, that's what they're interested in hooking off of Panger, or off of 7. I know 7 does, and I wasn't sure how far
Pretty
down.
sure it comes, I know Ricky Peterson's got it. I'm pretty sure it
Yeah.
comes to, you got three phase.
Well,
Yeah, it goes to Briar
Ricky
Creek.
has it because of Old Panger Road that
Yeah,
goes
but
around the
I
other
think
way.
it goes because the power changes on Darrell Road.
Yeah,
I think it's 3 phase to Briar Creek.
that's what they want to hook into. Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
just thought if you'd like a copy, let me know.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay, we'll close then at 7:43. Go to the floor, and we'll move on. Just before we get to it, Sandy, on the DCO appointment, we're going to table that temporarily, and we've got to go to executive session just briefly, okay? Before we do anything with that one. So we'll move forward with everything else, and then we'll come back to that.
Meeting minutes, it is hereby resolved that the meeting minutes of the July 12, 2016 regular meeting are approved or as amended.
We have a motion to accept that? July 12th meeting minutes.
I'll make it.
Doug?
Second.
And Lou?
Councilman Gray,
Yes.
Councilman Esposito,
Yes.
Councilman Lavelle,
Yes.
Councilwoman Schaefer, Supervisor Myers.
Yes.
General fund claims, it is hereby resolved that the town board approves claim numbers 170 to 194 in the amount of $27,157.94.
We have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Tom? Second?
Second.
Lou?
Councilman Gray,
Yes.
Councilman Esposito,
Yes.
Councilman Lavelle,
Yes.
Councilwoman Schaefer, Supervisor Myers.
Yes.
General fund transfers. It is hereby resolved that the town board approves the following transfer from 16274 Town Hall repairs to 16222 Town Hall equipment, Reason computers in the amount of $1,059.94.
We have a motion to accept this.
I'll make it.
Lou?
I'll second.
Tom?
Councilman Gray,
Yes.
Councilman Esposito,
Yes.
Councilman Lavelle,
Yes.
Councilwoman Schaefer, Supervisor Myers.
Yes.
Water fund claims. It is hereby resolved that the town board approves claim number 61-270 in the amount of $3,038.87.
Motion to accept this.
I'll make it.
Doug? Second?
Councilman Gray,
Yes.
Councilman Esposito,
Yes.
Councilman Lavelle,
Yes.
Councilwoman Schaefer, Supervisor Myers.
Yes.
Highway claim. It's hereby resolved the town board approves claim number 3 in the amount of $18,067.48.
Motion to accept this?
I'll make it.
Lou?
Second.
Doug?
Councilman Gray,
Yes.
Councilman Esposito,
Yes.
Councilman Lavelle,
Yeah, no, stay because I live on Wood Run.
Councilwoman Schaefer, Supervisor Myers.
Yes.
Highway transfer. It is hereby resolved that the town board approves the transfer of $18,067.48 from account number 99019 to account number 5031 for the, I apologize, for the snow and ice removal, not repairs on river travel. Supervisor Myers.
Yes.
Okay, so I need a motion to enter executive session at 7:47 to discuss the PCO appointment.
We have a motion to go into executive session?
We should do the rest of it and then go.
Okay, yeah, why can't, maybe we'll do that then, so we'll come back to that, I'm sorry.
CRC review of solar law. It is hereby resolved that the town board requests the Princetown CRC to review solar laws from the towns of Florida and Waynesburg, along with any other necessary information, to draft a Princetown solar law to be presented to the town board.
Motion to accept that?
I'll make the motion.
Tom? We have a second? I'll second.
Councilman Gray,
Yes.
Councilman Esposito,
Yes.
Councilman Lavelle,
Yes.
Councilwoman Schaefer. Yes. Supervisor Myers.
Yes. Okay, let's see. Any, before we go to executive session, any council member concerns?
I don't have that.
Lou?
Yeah, the highway superintendent and I were talking earlier about placing dead-end signs up at the entranceway past the state, or the sheriff's department, so that we can stop the trucks from coming in. Maybe that would help. Talk with DOT, New York State DOT. They're gonna get us a price on a sign that flashes, it says no trucks. Comes on with the lights when they come out of the parking lot. And we'll see what that price is on that. To help stop the trucks from coming in over here after we just repaved the driveway. We don't need it being torn up again. State police were putting in new steps. They're prefab steps. Going to be replacing the fencing there with vinyl fencing. And that's going to be done probably within the next week, hopefully. They're going to start putting in the carbon monoxide detectors along with the new system that we approved a couple months ago. They're going to start that Monday morning, 7 o'clock. It's going to take them 2 to 3 days to put it in. So we're all set with that. And the handicapped accessible doors are going to be in before the, I'm told they're going to be in before the wall arrives. So they said that they would definitely be in, as a matter of fact. Waiting on that. They don't have much time left. We have about a week and a half. So other than that, nothing else.
You think that we ought to block the road off temporarily until the wall comes, or leave it open and have the trucks come in and ruin it?
Well, we've been putting those
Concrete.
those cones up every night, and that seems to have stopped them so far. I mean, I can't imagine anybody's just going to come in and run over them, but you never know. They come in with...
They don't pay attention to those cones. Do you think we ought to put those concrete things in just temporarily for until the 23rd, 22nd?
That's up to the town if they want to do that, I don't know.
It's no problem for get the machine and put them there, you know? Leave the cones up and just put them in temporarily. Then before the wall comes, then I'll get them out.
That's fine with me.
That'd be just blocking half the...
Yeah, leave an opening in the
One
middle,
opening in the middle.
you know? Because it's all new pavement now, and if trucks do come in right now, they're gonna mess it up,
Yeah.
you know?
I'm okay with it, as long as the rest of the board.
So tomorrow, put that concrete things on each side.
Okay.
Will the weight of that, on the new pavement put an indentation in it?
No.
No.
No, that's already got a sub base in it.
Yeah, that won't hurt it. You know?
You let me know what time you want to do it. I'll come over and give you a hand.
Okay. Probably be in the afternoon, is that right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Yeah. Better not just spend any money.
Everything, Tom?
Just to build on Lou's good idea. So if we put up signs, does that mean it's illegal there? Or do we have to pass an ordinance in order to like enforce?
Well, it has been illegal. It says 4 ton. They've been giving them tickets as they see them, but the problem is they can't. They only have 1 car on at night over to the state police today. So they're out on the road and the sheriff's department, you know, they come in and they're not there. Nobody's here to stop them, but they have been ticketed them.
Okay.
So, when they catch them.
Yeah.
Well, anything that goes on there, I think we gotta get state approval. So it's off the state road, right, for signs and lights or whatever they wanna put up.
Yeah, the DOT, New York DOT's got no problem with it. They, like I said earlier, they said that they would help us get the signs for them, you know, so.
You can get going on it by the time they do it, after the wall goes,
Yeah.
you know? Okay.
Anything more?
That's all. Thank you.
Susan? Okay. I just got a couple of things. We've got a little conflict with our next meeting. Our next meeting is normally to be on the 13th of September, but that's primary day. So I was going to ask the board what your pleasure was. Do you want to move it to the first Tuesday, or do you want to change it to another day of that week? The first Tuesday would be the 6th. The first Tuesday would be one?
Yeah, I don't have to plan.
Anybody? All right, and if that's all right with the board, we'll do a resolution to change September's meeting from the 13th to September 6th. Do we have a motion to accept that?
Who wrote it up?
Well, we're just gonna have it added up now. Yeah. We'll add it to the... That'll be all right, Sandy?
I can do it real quick.
Okay.
It is hereby resolved that the town board change the September meeting to the first Tuesday of the month, which is Tuesday, September 6th, instead of Tuesday, September 13th.
We have a motion to accept this.
I'll make it.
Lou
Second.
and Doug. Okay.
Councilman Gray,
Yes.
Councilman Esposito,
Yes.
Councilman LaBelle,
Yes.
Councilwoman Schaefer. Yes. Supervisor Myers.
Yes. And with our speaker that was speaking to us at the beginning of the meeting, I guess I would ask the board, do we want to discuss more on the deal of being a Purple Heart community, or is that something we want to vote on for the resolution tonight?
I'll vote on it right now. If they want to, like I said, let's vote on it and get done with it.
Okay, well, I just
I
wanted
don't see
to
any problem with it.
present it to the board. Any other questions or anything that anybody would object to?
Would we have to decide how we want to do that?
I think
Like do with
over time,
signage and...
I think over time, it doesn't have to be done, something that's done overnight, other than just if we do a resolution to accept the fact of being a Purple Heart community, then it will go to Mr. Kyle, and as he explained it to me, then they'll put in and they'll give the town, the plaque and stuff down the line. But we can do whatever we would like as far as, signage or
I was just wondering if they had anything in place that you had to do or...
I don't,
things that
from
needed
talking
to-
with them, I didn't see or hear any time constraints. So it could be over a period of time. Just whether we want to be on board with it. All right, can we do that? Then there's another resolution, Sandy?
I don't know exactly what it should
I
say.
think it would be a motion to designate the town as a Purple Heart community.
just thought if we took care of it now, and might not be something that would slip
Take
through
a
the
while
cracks.
to go through everything.
Yes, right. But if we take care of it now, then it won't slip through the cracks and never get addressed again, so. All right.
A Purple Heart Town or a Purple Heart Community, which one should it be?
Maybe if you prefer, I would say town of Princetown, Purple Heart Community.
Maybe first both, so.
It is hereby resolved that the town board designates the town of Princetown as a Purple Heart community.
Have a motion to support this?
I'll make it.
I'll second.
Lou? Doug?
Councilman Gray,
Yes.
Councilman Esposito,
Yes.
Councilman LaBelle,
Yes.
Councilwoman Schaefer,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes. And it is a privilege to have a Vietnam vet and a Purple Heart veteran up here on the bench with us. It is very much a privilege, so. Okay, unless there's any further privileges of the floor before we go to executive session.
I would like to say that it's very moving to have the veteran speaking to us about his performance. And I'll bet there isn't a person in this room that doesn't have 1 or 2 or 10 or 20 veterans in their family. And we never seem to really think about what just Princetown itself has given. We have my cousin's kid down in Pier 5 Creek, Jackie Johnson. He's a Vietnam vet. My husband is, son is. We lost a grandson in Afghanistan just the way he did. Tears came to my eyes when we talked about that. John was killed in the mountains of Afghanistan. But there isn't anybody in this room that doesn't share. And I mean everybody in this room. And I think that we've done a really nice thing for the town. Thank you for that.
Well, we can't thank them enough, Mrs. Proper, and,
Yes.
you know, I think it's very important that we give credit where credit is due
Yes.
and honor all of our veterans in town, not just these two gentlemen, but it's a real honor and privilege to have.
It is.
Anyone else before we go to executive session? All right, if it closes the privilege of the floor, we'll go to executive session. Someone make the motion? Susan? I'll second. Executive session, we have a motion to move back into public meeting. Lou?
Second.
Doug?
Councilman Gray,
Yes.
Councilman Esposito,
Yes.
Councilman LaBelle,
Yes.
Councilwoman Schaefer,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes. Okay. So we're going to do the resolution for the DCO appointment.
It is hereby resolved, after interviewing several applicants, the town board appoints Benjamin Moore to the position of DCO for a term to expire 12/31/2016 at a monthly salary of $125.
Have a motion to accept that.
I'll make it.
Lou?
I'll second.
Tom?
Councilman Gray,
Yes.
Councilman Esposito,
Yes.
Councilman LaBelle,
Yes.
Councilwoman Schaefer. No. Supervisor Myers.
Yes. Okay. Have a motion for our meeting to be adjourned.
I'll make it.
Lou?
Second.
Doug?
Councilman Gray,
Aye.
Councilman Esposito.
Yes.
Councilman LaBelle.
Yes.
Councilwoman Schaefer. Supervisor Myers.
Yes.